I think 100 Thieves Academy is a team with a lot of strong individual players, but it kind of shows like how hard it's been for them to win with all the talent they have, that they really don't like mesh well as a team at all. Like they have some of the best players, I think, like in each roles, or they should, right? They have like Levi, Brandini, you know, Ricard, all these guys have been around for a long time, had a lot of success in Challenger, even in Worlds for Levi. So they should be a better team overall, but for whatever reason, like it's just not clicking. So I think that it should be pretty easy for us to win, honestly.
Hello and welcome back to the Academy League Summer Playoffs. We hear Wiggly kind of chatting about what he feels 100 Thieves kind of lacks at, but as well, you got to think of that. That's coming from a team that says we're 5 rookies and we shouldn't be beating you kind of mentality, but they are. So they're getting a lot of confidence out of that.
I mean, both teams are saying, oh, this should be an easy series for us. Both of them feel super confident. Here we sit 1-1. So maybe it's not, you know, maybe both of them are kind of right. The
With
reality
red
of
side love.
Yeah, I think that's the big part, too. So Wiggly having a great game on the Lee Sin after a less than ideal start, getting too aggressive in a topside 2v2 skirmish, but then bouncing back and for the most part continuing to play well. And yeah, I think the reality is both of them want to convince themselves they're easy for the reasons that they're saying, but both people are kind of right where it's like, yeah, we have a lot of teamwork and synergy and we're great, but they have really good mechanical players. So
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
A lot of close games as a result.
So CLG in blue. The boys are back on blue side, and then we'll see what they can do here with first pick. For them, that was Phil's Rakan in game 1. Really set up some great initiations with that entrance and his quickness.
Ooh, what a useful coach. Not just big brain on what to pick, but also helping clean up after Wiggly made a mess.
Those new cups, by the way, are amazing. They're absolutely crazy.
Those were because pro players were struggling with water too much.
Yes, but if you don't pick them straight up, they can't be picked up. You can like slap it. Obviously, if you like punch it, it'll fall over. But you can like slap it and it won't go over. But if you pick it straight up, it comes up. Technology.
I don't understand.
Exactly.
I'm going to need a cup up here to test this for myself. But it's good because, you know, there was that period of time where there was the water is ruining the LCS or whatever. There's a front page Reddit thread like a year and a half ago.
Water, insects.
Yeah, they're like, water is ruining the LCS because pro players spill or something. I don't know. It's crazy.
It's funny. You see a lot of players, they drink to the side of their microphone all the time, right? Because you don't want to move your microphone all the time. You will actually see players, if you hang out with them outside, if you have the opportunity to, outside of the game, in real life, they still semi-drink to the side. It's kind of, it's been ingrained into them. It's pretty funny.
There's a pretty popular YouTube video of professional football players and how they always squirt the water inside their mouths, and they can't even do it. They have like their water boys run up and do it to them. So I think that's the evolution.
Yeah.
If these cups aren't enough to stop pros from spilling, we're going to need official water boys go up there and make sure they get the water straight in the mouth because they are still struggling.
There it is. Next up on the LCS list, water boys. We'll get it. Here we are in 2 picks and bans for game number 3. A 1-1 head-to-head matchup right now in this best of 5. See who has that game 3 strength. Starting to wear down the mental, the physical game.
Yeah, we'll see if the Rakan goes over again. That was something that, while it did not get the win for CLG, they saw the power of it, and I wonder if 100 Thieves will react accordingly to it, or, since this is the first time they're back on the same side, if we see mostly a run back of picks. The Akali ban, also 100% banned so far in this series.
Yeah. Maybe she shouldn't have such a sneering look over her shoulder and she get picked.
You think that's what it is?
Who likes that attitude?
Yeah, not the insane mobility and burst potential.
No.
Obvious sassy.
Nah. We're very logical in our thoughts. Varus banned every game as well. A lot of plays from Otto on that. Ricard not so much, but Otto loves himself some Varus. Fallen Bandit will take that Rakan once again for Phil, so they have the initiation back in their hands. It's what got the best of them last time, so we'll see if CLG can use that.
See how much of a run back we get because the the Braum came in last time as well too.
Stun feels good.
The Kindred.
Same picks.
We'll see because we're talking about how neither team really wants to blink here. So we might get a very close. I think Wiggly might be the one who decides if he wants to stick with the Lee Sin over the the Graves. But we'll have to see because Brahm's really annoying, and they can maybe draft a couple more annoying champions to block that Lee Sin.
Yeah.
They know it's in the wheelhouse, but Wiggly's up to the challenge, apparently.
I like it. I like it actually as well better than the Gragas, too, because Gragas doesn't really synergize with what you want Phil to do in the initiation. Phil groups them up. They charm. You don't want to blast that charm apart. So I do like the Lee Sin pickup over that.
Yeah, and I think it's fine with how much more aggressive they want to play. But wow, they are breaking up the Zaya Rakan.
So does Rakara actually get a Zaya? Just like that, which was an Ezreal right here. But why not? That's his most played AD if he wasn't going towards the mages.
I don't think you want to pair the Zaya up. I mean, people can still do it.
That's true,
but
the Braum still.
For the most part, people
have safety.
Have kind of stopped doing it with some of the changes that came in to put more of their power together. And as a result, he goes for another kind of synergy with Braum.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, never mind. Goes back to the Ezreal.
Made you look.
Made me start talking. But I'll be curious to see what happens with CLG Academy because they drafted more engaged with the Ashe pick, which worked out very well for them, and comboing it with the Rakan is not a typical laning phase, but Ezreal Braum, like we were saying last game, does not put out the most pressure, and maybe they kind of read that's what 100 Thieves was going for and kind of called them out on it. And they said, you know what, we'll take a slightly worse laning phase for some extra initiation.
And the way they were playing it, Rakara does get that 2-item spike before Tuesday, or I'm sorry, autos. So maybe they can once again move around the map.
That is part of the difference too. Is Tuesday on, or not Tuesday, excuse me, Auto with the Ashe has a better 1-item power spike going Blade the Rune King for it first.
Yeah.
And can match up a little bit better. Whereas it feels like a lot of this is mid-game focused. As we see the Dr. Mundo hitting the ban list, the Orianna hitting the ban list, second phase bans finally starting to adapt to the series.
Yeah. This looks like somebody blinked a little bit. I feel like they'll have the upper hand for doing so. Usually you lose, but this time you need to change. One final ban, 5 seconds left as they discuss with Exogen what to do, and it's going to be that Fizz once again towards Linsanity.
This is interesting because there's no Syndra ban, and Fizz is a counter to Syndra, or that's typically how the matchup is played. So with the lack of Syndra ban, we'll see if they can actually get it here for CLG Academy.
Like it. Seeing a little bit of Ornn fly back into the mix when you need a tank in that top side. Without the Mundo there, happy to go against the Cho'Gath if possible.
Yeah, we saw this happen a little bit yesterday as well with Cho'Gath and Mundo sometimes getting banned out. We saw the Ornn and Poppy start showing up.
Yeah.
But looks like we actually might get something even more aggressive. LeBlanc coming in.
All right. Didn't really see that on Tuesday's list too much, but obviously in his realm of play.
Yep, does play a fair amount of mechanically intensive champions. We talked about the Akali. Also had a Fizz game, had some Aurelia games, some Yasuo games. He likes pressing buttons.
Oh, is it that Poppy? It looks like they may lock that in for Fallen Bandit down the top side. And he would be going up against Brandini's Ornn. They have a lot of crowd control in this fight.
Boy, I can't help but look at that Poppy and see how good that would have been against CLG's comp, stopping the Lee Sin, stopping the Rakan, stopping the LeBlanc. The Ornn pick, I get it, it's generically seen as a better champion, but against what CLG is playing, you gotta think that would have been amazing. And instead, we're gonna get the Malzahar point and click lockdown CC for all that mobility I was just talking about them having on the side of CLG Academy.
I feel like there's almost too much. You look someone dead in the eyes with Malzahar and you have 3 other people on you in a second. Like, you have no chance to stand still. This is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty high ask for Linsanity here, it feels like, but maybe you can do it. Does have...
I like it. I like when players put themselves in this position.
And definitely some adaptations coming through in this draft. I think the Lee Sin is interesting and a lot earlier game focus, it kind of feels like with some of these. And so much of this game has come down to the mid-game skirmishing. So maybe that's why people starting to shy away a little bit more from the 2.5, 3-item power spike champions. Like we said, Ashe going Blade the Rune King is going to be a little bit better than the Stormrazor Zeal item that Zaya usually goes for.
I think it's interesting that with the Rise still up, that Linsanity didn't go for that with some pretty solid plays in the last few games. A Realm Warp's coming up and more accessible kind of point and click stun CC than using that Prolific Visions the Gaze to stop them out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. There are some like nifty little tricks you can do, of course, with having the Kindred all come down on top of the
That's true, you get a little more time to
Malzahar.
dance.
Yep, so we'll see, but they have a pretty 2 different comps finally here. Both still have tanks on the top side, but we start having the Assassin in the mid lane versus the Lockdown CC. The very mobile Ezreal versus the utility Marksman and Ashe.
We're about to be on to the Rift now for game number 3. CLG Academy and 100 Thieves Academy both finding a win under their belt here to start off this best-of-5 series and turn it into that series. Let's see who kicks up the dirt first here in game 3 as we're about to be on to the Rift. CLG now back onto the blue side. 100 Thieves fighting off from the red.
Hopefully we get to see a better start out of Wiggly here. See if anyone starts doing some level 1 shenanigans, because CLG is a team that often is, the organization, I should say, is praised for having some creative thoughts on how to get advantages. And I bring it up all the time. You have level 1 mobility and engage available. You can potentially look for some tricky stuff. But right now, it's just the Braum show. You walk in, no one really wants a piece of you, and you combine it with Ezreal's long-range Q, you suddenly have a really good way of proccing that. If it lands, not going to be able to get in range, probably.
Little bone plating, Fae Feather Shield. You just see coming up on Phil as he shines every few minutes. That's the passive. And he's good to go.
Losing a little bit more mana. Uh-oh. Stunt down to half HP. Minion spawn. Probably not going to be wanting to back here, but they might just go for the hard red buff contest with the Braum Ezreal. It's something that we sometimes see, but it has gone wrong in the past. Things like Talia and things with strong level 1s can kind of contest it.
Braum's definitely a tough one to fight against level 1 if you get those lockdowns.
Definitely hard, but Lee Sin and Ashe are actually decent in level 1.
Good
Lee Sin
range.
in an all-in can go in and has a lot of abilities. Ashe can do exactly that, just sit over the wall and from range hit a spread W like that, volley, and suddenly it's a little bit more difficult, but it doesn't feel like CLG wants to kind of go for that extended dance, and instead Wiggly's going to start moving to split the map, but Levi's already done with his red buff.
Taking a little extra time may mean he can go right towards mid here without expectation from Tuesday. It's like Wolf Frenzy doesn't even get used. He's just trying to head up and actually catch them. A 3-pinch could happen here between Brandini and Linsanity as well, and you might have to flash over the wall if Quickly can't find a safer way out. Brandini won't really have too much knowledge to push down just yet, and Wiggly skirts out just in time.
Yeah, he was able to get there fast enough and still had his ward hop available.
Yeah.
If he needed to
He did
go
have
for
that
that
up.
one, so would have probably been fine, but 100 Thieves still making sure that he can't split the map and hover up topside for too long or anything like that. But it does mean he will get the Scuttlecraft for himself for Wiggly, denying that first mark yet again.
Interesting to walk on by, but not be ready to get it. So a quick grab there. Seems like Tuesday chatting up with the refs on stage. Mid lane's going pretty well for him. We'll see what's going on that.
Odds on a water spill.
Oh, pretty good.
Pretty good?
Well, not with the new cups. Chances have been lowered.
We'll see.
So no water spill there.
Yeah, we haven't had the camera around the mid lane very much with all the jungle invade action going on, so hard to know exactly what that pause might be about.
There is another fly on stage.
This is beginning to be a problem.
The flies have taken over.
Yeah, there's who was it last week who had the fly problem in the keyboard?
Oh, was that? It was CLG.
It was CLG. Is this their go-to, like?
It was, yeah, because it wasn't it Rainover?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, man.
They like have like a little baggie of flies that like if you ever get in trouble, just open your emergency pouch.
Release!
Yeah.
Go!
Looks like we're gonna get back into the game.
It does
though.
look like we already, without extermination, we have safely removed the fly. I can't actually tell you if that's true or not. But the fly is no longer bothering.
Don't lie to me, Rip. Ooh, nice trade.
And we are back in. Bit of damage as everybody gets out of the pause. You feel like you're gonna flex muscles a little bit. Ooh, a nice back and forth down to 300 HP as both of those corrupting potions are used in the top side. A little bit of that love we saw for red buffs fizzles out. Nobody really worse for the wear after that early game back and forth.
So we'll have to see how this one breaks out. The Poppy versus Ornn matchup is a pretty interesting one. You can stop his E with the W, obviously, and also his ultimate. He will always get the first Ornn horn to summon the one that applies brittle and does a little bit of slow damage.
Yeah.
But if you are well positioned, you can stop him from getting his ultimate off because it does require a little dash out of Ornn to headbutt it back in the redirect and get the knock-up. And
That's insane.
you can sometimes stop that if... I'm not exactly sure how it works. It does seem slightly inconsistent. Like if the Ornn does it well, sometimes they still get it. But if they try and do it a little early, because it is a relatively forgiving window, then you kind of get punished. So the Poppy, I'm not quite sure it's 100% stop on the ultimate, but it does tighten the window substantially.
I feel like that, having it happen then, becomes even more of an abrupt situation for the Orange to not see his ultimate go right in front of his face. Fallen Bandit, about that 75% mark push here for Brandini. So he's staying safe with a nice wave, but Brandini also gets relatively safe farm, so those guys are kind of in a stalemate. See Linsanity in mid. Holy macaroni, down to 150 HP instantly. In the eyes of Levi, too, saying, if you're going to leave for a second, I'm going to try to take that. Malefic Visions is on before it looks like he was going to go for another distortion kill almost.
Yeah, Tuesday having a good time early on in this laning phase, and Wiggly tried to steal away the Wolf, so Tuesday knows exactly where the enemy jungler is, but now they might have gotten a little over-aggressive.
A TP as well from Fallen Bandit. He's coming in near the Wolf Pit, a very deep ward for CLG, and he may now be in the frying pan as Wiggly. One hit from going down. That's going to be Linsanity's. A lot of summoners used for that. Wiggly looks like he should be able to skirt out of this one. Or, I'm sorry, Fallen Bandit, I should say, and they get themselves to safety.
Really surprising play there. The teleport by Linsanity kind of being the final nail in the coffin. It did look like a pretty clean escape, all things considered, by Wiggly and Phil, able to use each other's mobilities to catapult themselves further ahead. But the fact that Tuesday had recall to match the back by Linsanity, but one has Ignite and one has TP, and he brought the extra bit of damage needed to clean this one up.
Here's the Chaos again.
And you see both top laners start teleporting in as well. There's one on the Raptor pit, one on the backside there, and none of those actually mattered because guess who got in there first? Linsanity, helping with that kill, getting it for himself. Let's see if that has any influence on the lane matchup because Tuesday was looking pretty good before that.
Quick push on the lane we see from the bot side. That Ignite goes down immediately from Tuesday to say, I want lane pressure right now. And he goes hard on Linsanity with no summoners up for him.
Yeah, a little surprised to see that one. There is no flashes in the mid lane anymore.
Yeah.
King 6 is going to try and use the ult.
Oh, he gets him under the turret. What a play from Linsanity.
Just barely missed spacing that one by Tuesday. Tried to use the double distortion on the flash list Linsanity to potentially set up a Wiggly kill, but too far under the turret, and Wiggly couldn't get in range in time. And that's the second kill now for the Malzahar, able to punish.
He almost kind of wrote it out in mid lane that he was going to aggress on Linsanity, and Linsanity baited him into it. Oh, my summoners are down. I'm a little farther out. Tuesday ate that one right up. Linsanity uses the ultimate to find himself a kill, and 100 Thieves will have a bit of control on those scuttles now. Here it is again.
Yeah, so overall the idea of chunking him low, hoping to get 6 first, but Linsanity's spells on the minion wave give him 6. He was 5 at the start of that, but his Malefic Visions and his little minions running around there level him up to 6. And Linsanity gets the punish, and that a big part of that is also due to the kill he got and the XP you received from that, helping giving him the extra XP because Tuesday was winning the lane hard enough, Levi was leeching it, he missed a wave on the back. I think Tuesday just thought, I'm winning this lane hard enough, I'll hit 6 first, and did not know how close Linsanity was due to death.
If you're looking at CS and it's even, you assume they're right around the same minions dead as you are to hitting that stick. So that's a great point for that early kill experience on Linsanity. Getting the better of Tuesday only slightly. Well, his damage from that LeBlanc still very big, kind of just sorting together some ability tomes there, so he can continue to put that out as he builds up his core items. Linsanity with the Lost Chapter. Here comes the ultimate from Brandini.
Yep, and there you go.
There's the block. Nice job by Fallen Bandit, and he'll be able to waltz out of that one. No follow-up from Brandini after the ult.
You see that does afford Poppy the ability to get pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
Dropping low there, you're concerned if another brittle stack gets on you and you get knocked up. Starts looking pretty scary, but you're fine with the W up. You're okay.
CLG now with a ward that very much took them by surprise. That ward up on the top side of the map, the vision right by red side, was able to see Wiggly all first game, and that's how Levi really kept on him. Now CLG has the upper hand to see where 100 Thieves is, what they're doing. Infernal Drake isn't really on their mind as they back, but 100 Thieves definitely take that time to say thank you very much.
Yeah, that's a classic punish on a timing for the blue buff. As soon as the blue side team goes for their second blue buff spawn handoff, you know where the jungler is going to be, you know where the mid laner is going to be, and it's nowhere near the bot lane. So you're able to kind of abuse that window to get the Drake for yourself. Well done there by Levi.
Also, Phil with a good place down towards bot. He sees Levi waltzing around. They do have Wiggly here for help, but it doesn't look like anything will engage. A little bit of room from Fallen Bandit, though, to mid lane.
See if he can find anything. Still no flash on Insanity. Potentially set it up for a flash wall stun by Fallen Bandit, but Insanity cheating down to the bot side of the map. Gonna get his blue buff handoff now as well. Just fine.
That timing. There's a good break on the spell shield. It's always such an annoying thing in the, not new Malzahar, but updated as it were. That he has a spell shield. Oh, wow. Tuesday right there in his face. Will they be able to help Wiggly? One last shot in the burn going down from Levi. I thought Tuesday was going to take a bigger part in that fight, but he definitely feels that it was too dangerous. And Wiggly goes down again.
Yeah, so many dots being applied to him there. The red buff by the Kindred, as well as potentially the challenging smite as well. Not quite sure if he dropped that one, but that combined with the damage over time from the Malzahar dots.
So many dots.
Dots on dots.
Dipping dots. Dipping them all in. What do we got? 2 stacks, I believe that was for Levi currently. Yes, just 2 stacks. So he'll be looking to get 2 more before his ability upgrade and a little extra damage. The rest of the map seems to be quiet. Top lane is just a 1v1 between Brandini and Fallen Bandit. Wiggly and Levi kind of been finding each other or working on that bot side of the map most of the time. Fill in, fill out.
Maybe if you got that W, could have tried to look for the all-in. There's no heal available in the bot lane. They have Exhaust and Ignite.
Ooh. Oh, that was fast. Nice fingers on the flash there by Stun.
Yeah, I really like that idea by CLG Academy. I think they definitely could have won that if they could connect on either of their ultimates. They have the Ignite available.
Almost.
Almost. This is a bit of a different game than we had seen in the first 2 when the team that got the early game advantage ended up losing. The comps were very similar. This time around, Tuesday not getting an advantage in the mid lane. Going to have a harder time splitting with the 1-3-1, as well as the fact that Insanity has the TP means he's probably going to be understanding he wants to match that a little bit more. And you don't have any kind of pressure in the side lane with the LeBlanc, and your Lee Sin is 0-2 and falling behind more and more. It does feel more difficult, but they still have the Ashe, the Poppy, and other tools to team fight, but feels like some of their win conditions have been slipping away a little bit.
I know you saw that Tuesday. Fear the war. Yeah. All right. Looks like you walked by it. A lot of movement by CLG down towards that bot side of the map here. Cloud Drake will be next. Up in a matter of minutes, the fight top side. Steadfast Presence goes down. The ult cannot come back through. 200 HP for both fighters. Brandini and Fallen Bandit skirt away from the fight, but Levi looks to get that last Wolf Frenzy in. The mounting Dread to attack. Levi under the turret. Fallen Bandit says, my out is the in for Brandini's kill. And it looks like they're both just going to have to walk away from this one. Brandini actually getting a little gummies for himself. Could go back into this fight. Bellows breath just missing from over the wall. And Fallen Bandit takes the long way out.
Maybe the tensest game of Ring Around the Rosie I've ever seen. Had to get away from 2 different people. They also had Malzahar potentially moving up. Now there's the bait, though.
Oh, Lancer Spike goes down to fight on the bot side. Dive as well, coming in on Rakara.
The wall.
And Stunt. Levi, one last attack. He gets hit. Phil is in the front. His Stunt's ready to lock him down. Gets over the wall with quickness as well to find the safety. And it looks like everybody gets out alive somehow. Save Otto. Otto is still dead. I apologize.
Otto and Levi.
And Levi.
Being the 2 who go down.
Just so much going on.
Very
Goldfish memory.
Crazy fight. The top side with Levi showing Wiggly wanted to move down to the bot lane and prep a dive. They see Levi going too hard here, but they forget about the Malzahar TP. So while all this is going up on the top side and CLG thinking this means their bot lane is free to go aggressive, the Malzahar, who was roaming up to the top side, actually is able to flip his attention down to the bot lane play, and this TP behind onto a ward in lane cuts Otto off from his jungler and support who are trying to go aggressive, and I just don't think they have any idea what's coming, and Otto doesn't know if he's supposed to go meet up with the other 2 guys or kite down, and doesn't make a decision until Malzahar makes it for him and locks him down underneath the turret the second time that's happened for Linsanity. Makes those kills even easier.
Yeah. Rakara and Stun, fast on the fingers today. Flash and arrows and flash and kicks so far. It doesn't mean CLG is going to stop firing them, though. They're going to have to be fast the entire time. That's what makes it difficult. It's none of those hard games like Dark Souls these days. It's old Super Mario when you just couldn't make that second jump, right? You look back at that and you're like, how couldn't they make that second jump? That's what used to make you angry.
I don't know, dude. I've always
like my tangent.
Yeah, I like your tangent. I was gonna say I've always struggled with some league mechanics, so I'm not quite sure it's a new school versus old school thing for me, just being bad.
fair enough. Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
14 minutes on the clock, 4-1 in favor of 100 Thieves. Just about a 2,000 gold lead as they trade back and forth. Oh, that's the worst.
Wow.
That's the worst feeling as a support too. You're like, you know I'm still here, just don't get aggressed on. Oh, you got aggressed on. All right, pull back off. It happens, but it's good on 100 Thieves. You got to take that chance.
And it's extra tragic because it's the Ash lane, as we see some more very aggressive trading.
Yeah.
Because it's the Ash lane, the Rakan collapse range is so much shorter. As hold on here, maybe some stuff going up on the top side. Brandini's got a long way to go to get out of here. No flash available.
Call the Forge God still there, but Brandini's up the river without a paddle on this one. He needs to get on the other side. It does not look like that's going to happen. He might be able to get himself a kill, though. Just misses his breath and the shove forward, and they're going to pick that one up for Fallen Bandit. Help from Wiggly as a true shot barrage soars across the map.
Seemed a little greedy by Wiggly, not wanting to go for a QRQ execute combo, trying to get it onto a Fallen Bandit, who had to E onto a minion to avoid Brandini's E, which does do some damage now after a buff quite a while ago, and did manage to outplay it and live, but very close. They're going to continue to transition this into a push on the top side turret, as they know that the enemy team has committed to the Dragon. 2 Drakes now for 100 Thieves.
Feels good. Most games have traded each objective, and back to this top side fight.
And, you know, Fallen Bandit had to play this really, really well. Didn't need to use the W there, as he already stepped outside the knock-up range from the E, but still knows that he has the ult to counteract Brandini's ult, so he times it to make sure he can't call the Forge God up, but it's still
crazy.
an extremely close fight, as Wiggly did not want to kick him back underneath the turret, I'm pretty sure, and then Fallen Bandit, to avoid dying, went for an E onto the minion wave to make sure that he was far enough away from Brandini that he didn't take any final damage there. Very well played by Fallen Bandit.
Quick plays. A little cleanup here as they start to switch lanes up with turrets down. We'll get a swap from that top side. See what the AD carry and bot laners can do as they start to pressure. In goes Phil. Oh, he stops him dead in his tracks, but there's just too much crowd control coming through. Wait a minute, they take down Tuesday. Linsanity lives after getting hit with crowd control after crowd control. Brandini might continue the fight, a quick bellow's breath. But what a turnaround for Linsanity, living with a sliver of health multiple times.
Every time, pretty much, being the kind of like anti-engage and anti-aggression.
The gates
tool.
are up.
Every time Tuesday goes in, doesn't work out. This time they bring extra help with Phil and Otto, both committing their ultimates, not actually finding anything in the mid lane. And now, as a result, Rikara is alone in the top side, pushing this turret down. He drops the 3rd of the game for 100 Thieves. All outers down, and they're able to grab the Rift Herald off the back of that.
Whew. Insanity definitely having some very good games this series, and it has been great play from Tuesday. Just on the cusp of getting a kill every time, and just missing out. We'll see it here again as they go in for the kill.
Just the Voidlings, nice ult right there actually to interrupt the dash coming in, and then even though this lands, neither guy wants to walk forward. That was a bit of a miscommunication because the turret was on Phil and Tuesday could have stayed in there. He was getting hit up by the Voidlings and maybe was scared of that, but here we go. The teleport is coming in non-stop for 100 Thieves to kind of counteract a lot of this aggression.
It's like they're definitely coordinating now, right? It's like yours is up, mine is down, it's going down, then we'll have another one up. Just keep it going. Rinse and repeat. And you can see CLG's having a hard time keeping up. The team that we say focuses on the macro first is trying to find a way back in that game right now. 18 minutes on the clock, 5-2. Looking at just about a 3,000 gold lead here for 100 Thieves. Could really be pushed in either direction. We're gonna have Baron up in just 2 minutes and a Mountain Drake coming up just around the same time.
Yeah, hopefully they take it a little bit slower because we've seen some mistakes happen when people start forcing down around these objectives.
Yeah.
But I like that CLG has looked for so many of these plays, and so many of them are just barely not working out. But in a best of 5, this is the kind of stuff that can, if you don't have that kind of veteran presence like a Meteos to calm everyone down, this is the kind of stuff that can make your mental go boom.
Yep.
And very hard to recover from.
It's also something that, you know, Fallen Bandit and the guys say is one of their strengths. I guess it was Tuesday that we're 5 rookies. You know, we're coming in here and we're quite strong. We feel like a great team together. We all know how to kind of use that with us. Well, they say that 100 Thieves kind of has that single skill prowess. They don't work too well together, but they're all great in each lane. See if CLG can kind of bringing themselves back to that great niche lane and working together point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing is a lot of these things are outplays kind of working in 100 Thieves' favor.
Right.
Flub engages just barely by CLG, misspacing slightly to be underneath the turret.
Ooh.
And 100 Thieves always being ready to punish.
5 strong, ready for a fight. Summoner's up as well for Linsanity if he wants to target someone fast. But they're just going to get the wave clear on here, push as much as they can up, and all the wards they place, so much vision on CLG as they want to come back out towards that Baron area. And here's Rift Herald for second mid-tier turret from 100 Thieves.
Probably be able to drop the turret with this as FLICKR also there to throw some damage down. And there you have it. Might keep going. See what they try and do.
It looks like it. They have a wave up top that CLG is going to have to react on in just a few seconds. So great pressure all around the map. You already have a back from Fallen Bandit to take care of a little bit of that. I don't know if the inhibitor's on the menu just yet, but 2 turrets, one of them being an inhibitor turret, was for 100 Thieves as they extend that gold lead.
And it felt like with all the engage tools CLG has, they wanted to go in there, but the only one that comes in from any sort of range is the Ash arrow.
Yeah.
And then what is your follow-up? The Malzahar point and click lockdown potential scaring CLG, it felt like, from actually jumping in there and doing something about that. And as a result, it gets them the mid lane inhibitor turret out of nowhere.
More dots and ticks, even if he can create one early. Madness already for Linsanity's second item for that Leandry's coming in.
A little surprising
Burn.
that there are not that many high HP targets on the side of CLG.
Right.
And of course you do get the damage amp, but not sure that's a better buy than some of the other things, but who knows?
So now he's got to buy a, now I can't even remember it. I was going to say Bramble Vest, but he just needs a Cinder.
No, you don't need to go for that.
Just get a Sunfire Cape, and you burn more.
So if they try and jump on you while you're ulting, you get extra AoE.
There you go. We got to talk about that with Zyrene the other day when Sunfire Cape used to work when you were still dead. You could get people.
Or the stacking
Or
Sunfire.
stacking Sunfire Capes on Rammus. Great days. Here, none of that. You can still stack them. It's just not going to
Yeah, well, technically you can stack any item in League almost. Doesn't mean you should do it.
Force of Natures. All the good stuff. Levi onto that Mountain Drake, actually, so he's going to be able to solo this quite nice. Where is he sitting currently? At level 11, he does have his 4 stacks, so he feels great as Kindred.
Yep, got that one after the siege in the mid lane. 20 minutes is a pretty fine time. You get the range advantage right when you pretty much start needing it the most in team fights. Obviously, the earlier the better, but the range, being able to hit front line safer is a big part of what makes Kindred a little bit easier to work with. Now you can kind of feel what CLG's mentality is right now, afraid of kind of straight up 5v5s, and they didn't want to pull it in the mid lane. Now they're going for the Fnatic brush camping strategies of looking for 100 Thieves as they fight for vision control and getting a 100-0 pickoff. Didn't find one that time, and now 100 Thieves starting up Baron.
Ward on the back, hiding in, but they want the fight anyways, quickly taking down Tuesday. And now they're going to be continuing the fight onto Phil. Malefic Vision's burning down. Safeguard, no! True Shot Barrage comes over the shoulder of the rest of CLG to take down Phil. And now Baron with 5 tall 100 Thief members is going to go down. Wiggly just on the outside, looking for a Sonic Wave in to get the smite on the Lee Sin. He's almost in range, but gets pushed out. Rikara takes down Wiggly. Fallen Bandit now trying to skirt his way home, slowed. But 100 Thieves says, do not chase. We're going for the back. We need to get back on the map and pressure.
All too easy for 100 Thieves there. They had so much vision control that they were actually able to just walk up and Malzahar ult a LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Something that should be very difficult to do, but Tuesday just had no idea it was coming. Didn't need to commit the flash. LeBlanc could knock it out at all, and that just shows how far ahead and how well 100 Thieves is playing, that the Malzahar is able to do that. And Phil did his best to try and keep him alive, but no one else was in range to contribute. Arrow goes wide.
Getting chilly in here. Man, and to think I was like, yo, it would be so great if they had a Rise, more crowd control. I mean, he is just playing this Malzahar crazy. And we've said it, CLG has had ins. They have the ultimates to find the fights. They've had good engages, and it seems like 100 Thieves just has that luck on their side today to slip out of these and then have the upper hand.
Luck or better mechanical skill? That is the question. This one, maybe not the best show of mechanical skill as Tuesday gets to run forward and press R. But that's all he needs to do. The rest of the team is there to follow up. They're able to get that kill pretty much right away. Brandini misses the ultimate. I guess he's so used to getting stopped by the Poppy that even when the Poppy's not there, he starts messing it up. But either way, it didn't matter. Gets the kill. Now they're going to be able to snowball with this Baron buff, working on their second inhibitor.
Tuesday on the right, looking for that LeBlanc flank. If he can get anybody in the back line for 20, 30% of their health, that's all he needs to do at this point because they need to stop the power of 100 Thieves here in Game 3. Phil takes one shot from Ricard, and it's about half his HP. And they're going to have to back to the fountain. Brandini doing work on the other side of the map is going to be met with the team here as they head to bot side.
Yep, already prepped this wave for the rest of the team to rotate over. They know the minions in the mid wave are already pushing. Now they have super groups in the top side as well. We'll see if they're as decisive as CLG was ending the game in Game 2, just pulling the trigger on their ultimates to zone them off the wave. Doesn't look like they even need to.
Just over 10,000 gold lead. The Orn Horn is blown, and Tuesday's on the front line and gets deleted along with Wiggly. 100 Thieves are in the base. Fallen Bandit doing what he can to push them away, but they are looking straight at the Nexus. The turrets stand tall as they stand between CLG and home base. First Nexus turret's going to fall 11-2 in favor of 100 Thieves with 25 minutes on the clock as they do it just a little bit faster this time. 100 Thieves take Game 3.
25-minute game off the back of some huge Malzahar outplays, denying all of the aggressive plays CLG was looking for. And with that, put themselves onto match point.
Both teams are able to snuff each other out in these switch games. Obviously, 100 Thieves having the first one win, now they're 2-1. But when CLG had a chance to come at them from that red side, it was the same thing for 100 Thieves. They were not finding kills, they were not finding anything. So I'm excited to see what CLG actually has for next game because I feel like, again, they're going to come out firing even harder.
This feels like a game that's going to force some adaptations. I think there's so many things that went so wrong in this game. The LeBlanc pick did not work out at all. I thought he was playing it pretty well, was getting good trades on the Malzahar, but when they tried to pull off the difficult mechanical plays that they need to make on this team with Lee Sin, with the LeBlanc, they came up short pretty much every single time, and that's actually what handed the biggest leads to 100 Thieves, not 100 Thieves going out and forcing incredible plays.
Absolutely. We definitely saw a lot of action as well from Levi and Linsanity this time, making his way around the map, but I think Linsanity absorbing so much pressure. Some of it luck, definitely some of it skill and making sure they were on the upper hand of the kind of counter engages that happened off of that. So huge play coming from him, and both mid laners switched it up to come in this game. We asked if it was going to be a staring contest, and it looks like they kind of poked each other in the eyes a bit here with 100 Thieves coming out on top. And here's one of those instances, you're right there, and he baited level 6, as you said, which really got him that one.
And that came off the back of a denial of an aggressive Wiggly invade. This time around, they counter out a bot side dive, making use of the TP, which it feels like CLG lost track of with all the fighting that's going on in the top side. And here, another pretty good attempt.
And an arrow.
Yeah, he reacts very well to stop the Rakan from doing anything there.
How?
And then a miscommunication about who had the turret aggro. And then here, they've gotten such a lead. They've done such a good job setting up vision control that when LeBlanc, who is usually so slippery, feels safe walking up here, just instantly, Malzahar ulted, nothing you can do about it, blown up. And that's all she wrote. The support falls right after, trying to keep him alive. And this is one of those very steady gold drafts, which is the first time we have seen that in this series, whereas most of the time it's bouncing back and forth for the first 20 minutes.
I'll get my inner tube and ride down that thing, dude. That looks like a whole lot of fun. Obviously not for CLG. Got to recoup for coming into Game 2 here. I'm sorry, Game 4. And they've done it. They did it already. They said, yes, we can beat 100 Thieves. And they actually did it, as we see, just as handily as 100 Thieves is doing it. That game a bit faster, but CLG's putting out the same power. And they're kind of finding it from every lane. Fallen Bandit playing well, bot lane playing well, and Wiggly is stepping up for the team.
Yeah, I think this is a good series where you get to see how teams are capable of closing games out with a single Baron buff. Most of the time, these guys are playing very aggressively and then continuing to force around those inhibitor turrets that are still up, where sometimes people go for the slow siege. Both CLG and 100 Thieves, when they get their Baron buffs and they're up against the enemy team trying to defend against the siege, you press your ultimates, you start going in, and either you kill them or you push them off the turret and you're able to take it down. And the fact that they're all doing this shows that they understand how to close the games out. Both teams kind of want more consistency out of their early and mid game, though.
What do you think a definitive pain point for 100 Thieves is? What can CLG attack coming into Game 4?
I wouldn't mind seeing them try counter picks on the red side as they move back there, but I think the one thing would be maybe find some simpler champions to execute on, because when they had the Orianna, it was
so many conditional things to have happen.
right. Like there's so many ways to outplay where the Malzahar is just like, well, I pressed R and I stopped your Lee Sin kick, or I stopped your LeBlanc from going in.
Right.
I did like the engage tools that they drafted. I would definitely want to keep those, but outside of that, I would definitely look at the mid-jungle duo who have not really been able to synergize well enough to snowball off the mid lane, where it feels like a fair amount of these strategies are about attacking Linsanity.
Absolutely. So 100 Thieves are now at match point. Stick around to see if they close out Game 4 and advance to the semifinals, or if Counterlogic Gaming will strike back and tie the series. You're watching the Academy League Summer Playoffs.
Worlds.
A TP as well from Fallen Bandit. He's coming in near the Wolf Pit. A very deep ward for CLG, and he may now be in the frying pan as Wiggly. One hit from going down. That's going to be Linsanity's.
There is no flashes in the mid lane anymore.
Yeah.
King 6 is going to try and use the ult.
Oh, it hits him under the turret. What a play from Linsanity. And home base. First Nexus turret's going to fall 11-2 in favor of 100 Thieves with 25 minutes on the clock as they do it just a little bit faster this time.